Welcome to my review of Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining, directed and written by Mike Flanagan and starring Ewan McGregor as a grown-up Danny Torrance. And as Danny meets a young girl with similar powers as his, he tries to protect her from a cult known as the True Knot, who prey on children with The Shining. I'm a huge fan of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I think it's a masterclass in just every way when it comes to filmmaking. I'm also a huge fan of Mike Flanagan. I've enjoyed his work so far, and he's already nailed a Stephen King adaptation with Gerald's Game. So I was extremely excited for this film, and it didn't disappoint. The performances all around are spectacular, with special highlights given, of course, to Ewan McGregor, who is doing a lot, carrying up this weight of having to play this iconic character from this iconic movie based on this iconic book, and now this story based on another iconic book. He channels in Danny Torrance beautifully. His torture, his demons, what he has to live with, what he has lived with all these years, and I love the journey that he takes on in this film, about facing demons, about hiding away from them, about locking them away in your mind however you can. Rebecca Ferguson is also great as Rose the Hat. She is terrifying. Whenever she's on screen, there's a chill going down your spine, and she leaves you uneasy throughout the film. But really, the biggest star in this film is Flanagan. His channeling of Kubrick without ever just flat out copying him is beautiful. His hazy images, his wide shots, his tension build throughout this film. The use of the score is tremendous, and the editing is spectacular as well. The editing itself also done by Flanagan, who's also an editor, and that's awesome to see a director that has his hand so precisely on every element of this film as much as he can, guiding every element to what his true vision is. This film does have jump scares here and there, but I loved seeing that Flanagan didn't just right out make a very different type of horror film. He really leans into the type of horror that The Shining is. The Shining isn't just a horror film like any other. It builds and builds and leaves you uneasy. You don't know where it's going, and it creates this tension throughout. Even when a character in a scene is feeling rather relaxed, there's this ominous feeling that he creates, that he engraves into you as an audience member, that there is something not right, that there's something about to go down. Maybe it's right now, maybe it's later, but you just never feel at ease, and Mike Flanagan creates that sensation perfectly. He's also able to not simply rehash stuff from the previous film, but whenever he wants to pay homage or tribute to something that comes inherently to this film from The Shining, he's able to use it in fresh and novel ways. From the characters to the setting to the themes, everything about The Shining that is inherently present in Doctor Sleep is there because it needs to be there to serve the story. But as every movie, I didn't think this film was perfect. I think in about the first 40 minutes, you're into it. You want to see where Danny goes, but Danny's journey and then seeing what Rose is all about feels rather disjointed. It's like if you had several magnets, and instead of all becoming attracted to this one place, it feels like they're just going their separate ways. I also think that Rebecca Ferguson, as much as I enjoyed her on screen, she never comes across as a full-on menacing villain. She's chilling when she's on screen. When she does stuff to other people, she's chilling, she's menacing, but she feels very passive for the most part. She has this posse that goes around with her, and they kind of do most of the work for the most part. At the end, and I really want to be careful with what I say, but I was rather disappointed with what she could indeed do. And I also feel like we weren't very well explained what these people are. And I really wanted to say more, but I really can't. Dr. Sleep isn't a grueling exercise in just pure horror for the cheap thrills. It's odder, it's more contemplative. It leaves you thinking about it, much like The Shining did, in a very different way. I think it's definitely worth checking out. I think it's definitely worth thinking about. Leveling up both of the stories and both the ways the stories are told. The best thing you can say about Dr. Sleep is that it stands on its own, even with its homages, tributes, what it brings back from The Shining. It feels earned because the film does not depend on it to tell its story. It much more feels like a reward for its storytelling. I'm giving Dr. Sleep a B+. Now, what did you think of Dr. Sleep, my beautiful geekies? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think of The Shining. And did you love this movie? Did you love the book? Let me know how you compare books to movies, movies to books, whatever you want to say. Tell me in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching, my beautiful geekies. Tomorrow I have my review for The King coming your way, so I hope to see you there. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps me out. And until the next video, stay beautiful, stay geeky, and most importantly, love each other. And love the movies.